Hi, my name is Wes Lawler and this is RJ. We work in the service department here at East Coast Yacht Sales. The purpose of this video is to show you 7 easy steps on how to put your Axopar to bed for the wintertime. Let's get started. Okay, the first step in winterizing your freshwater system on board this Axopar 37 is to empty the freshwater tank. You can do that by opening up all the faucets on the boat until you start to see air come through. Once you see air, you want to go to your breaker board and turn that freshwater pump off. The next step would be to use some kind of a bucket. I made this. This is my non-tox winterizing bucket. You can get all these parts at your local hardware store. If you don't want to do this, you can just use a regular 5-gallon bucket. You want to fill this up with about 3 gallons of non-tox. This is the non-tox that we use, and we just get this at West Marine. It's rated for 50 below. It's a little overkill, but better safe than sorry. The next step, once you've filled this bucket up with about 3 gallons of non-tox, hook up a hose, disconnect the hose coming for the intake for the freshwater pump, disconnect that, and then you can get a 1/2-inch hose, connect it to the water pump, and then stick the hose inside the bucket. Once you've done that, the next step would be to turn the freshwater pump back on, then go throughout the boat, opening up faucets until you see pink come out. Once you see pink come out of any one faucet, turn that faucet off, go to the next faucet, and continue to do that until you've protected all the lines throughout the boat. In addition to winterizing your water system, you really don't want to forget your windshield washer fluid, which is located up forward right next to the fresh water tank right down here. It only would take about an ounce or 2 of non-tox antifreeze, and then just hit the switch for your windshield washer fluid until you see pink come out. Okay, first step in winterizing your head is to make sure that the holding tank is empty. There's 2 ways to do that. You can go to a pump out station or direct overboard discharge if you're 3 miles offshore, and just be sure to open the seacock for the direct overboard discharge. Once you've done that, you can flush non-tox through the toilet, which protects the pump on the toilet. Do that quite a few times just to make sure enough non-tox has gone into the holding tank. The other thing you can do is just dump 1 gallon of non-tox into the toilet to make sure there's enough non-tox in the holding tank. Once you've done that, you can go over to your macerator pump switch, hit the macerator pump, press and hold for 30 seconds to a minute just to make sure enough non-tox has traveled through the macerator pump.
All right, let's talk engines. We here at East Coast recommend you contact your local Mercury Service Center for your yearly decommissioning and engine maintenance. There are 2 thoughts on fuel management. One is to get your tank as low as possible at the end of the season and treat the remaining fuel. This allows you to fill up your boat with fresh fuel at the beginning of the new season. The other option is to fill up your tank and treat the fuel at the end of the season. This eliminates all empty space in the tank where condensation could occur. When you're decommissioning your boat for the winter, you can't forget about your cushions. The most important thing is to keep your cushions mildew-free and dry. The best way to accomplish this is removing your cushions from the boat and storing in a dry location that they're safe from critters or anything else. It is important to prop up your cushions in a cool, dry place and ensure they have proper ventilation around them. All right, on the topic of moisture management, the most important thing is creating airflow everywhere in the boat. To accomplish this, we recommend doing things like removing your carpet, cracking open floorboards, which allows the temperature below the floor and above to stay the same, which will eliminate moisture. Then any doors slightly opening, so throughout the winter air can flow in and out of spaces and not trap condensation. Another industry practice for keeping your boat dry over the winter is installing damp-rid buckets. These buckets absorb the moisture in the air and contain them in the bucket, keeping the moisture out of your boat and contained so you can remove it in the spring. On the topic of your refrigerator, for winter, your refrigerator needs to be emptied and cleaned. This will prevent any mildew or anything from growing in it over the winter. On the top of your refrigerator, you also have a vent switch. In the left position or farthest forward, it will vent. We also recommend cracking the refrigerator for the winter to create positive airflow.
Winterizing batteries depends on where you're storing your boat. If you're inside heated, you can leave all your batteries hooked up and get on a charging system with your local yard. If the boat's outside cold storage or outside shrink wrapped, the best practice is to remove all the batteries. There's 4 in this compartment and there's 1 bow thruster battery up forward. The other option is to disconnect the negative leads. You want to make sure your batteries are fully charged and disconnect each negative lead, and the boat's okay for the winter. Properly handling and storing the batteries in your boat during the winter is essential to ensure they remain in good condition and are ready to use in the spring. That's it, your boat's ready for hibernation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more Axopar educational videos. Thanks. Anything for our viewers.